It's frustrating when you get leads and pitch your services, but the deal falls apart when objections arise. In this video, I will share the key strategies that have worked very well for me to handle common objections like budget concerns, trust issues, and skepticism about results so you can close more deals with confidence. So, without further ado, let's get started. It's easy to assume that objections mean the client isn't interested, but that's really true. The truth is, objections are a natural part of the sales process.
Totally normal.
Objections are the opportunities to address concerns, build trust, and move the conversation forward. In my experience, the key to overcoming objections isn't about being pushy or overly persuasive. It's about understanding where the hesitation is coming from and addressing it directly. Most objections come from three main areas. Number one, lack of trust. Clients who have worked with SEO agencies before might feel skeptical, especially if they didn't get the results they expected. Number two, budget concerns. Budget objections often stem from not understanding the value SEO brings or comparing it with other expenses. I always use visuals or graphics to explain its value so they can understand it better. I'll speak more about this later in the video. Number three, unclear outcomes. SEO results take time and clients may hesitate because they are unsure of long-term ROI. For this, I try to run numbers in front of them and base my answers on facts and figures. Numbers game, baby. When I started recognizing these patterns, instead of diving into what I could offer, I began asking more targeted questions. What was really holding them back? Like, what has been your experience with SEO in the past? If we could teleport this conversation 12 months from now, what specific results are you hoping to achieve? This simple shift made it easier to identify whether their hesitation was about trust, budget, or expectations. So, the lesson here is to overcome objections before they even come up. If they are exploring options with other agencies, let them do it. But ask what is the most important factor for them to choose an agency. It could be the communication, reporting, strategy, or anything else. Just so it doesn't drag for months or weeks, ask, I know you're in the decision-making process and I respect that. Just so I can plan ahead, when do you expect to finalize your choice? This keeps you in their mind while gently setting a timeline. If they've tried SEO before and it didn't work, then there's a high chance they either worked with the wrong agency or had the wrong expectations. Being upfront about what SEO can and can't do sets the right expectation. Instead of jumping into defense mode, I dig deeper into why it didn't work. My rebuttal is, man, I get it. A lot of businesses come to us after a bad experience with an SEO consultant or an agency. Let me ask, what didn't work for you? Was it a strategy or something else? If it was results that are leads or sales in most cases, you can explain your approach as an ROI-centric SEO agency rather than just ranking, and rankings. Let them know you track leads, calls, and actual conversions on top of other metrics like traffic, so every effort you are putting in is trackable.
It's entirely legitimate.
Get them to agree to start with an audit where you can identify the gaps, see where things went wrong, and then map out the actionable strategy to fix it.
Idiots. You need to fix this.
Since the day I started selling SEO, I have always followed the principle of under-promising and over-delivering, and it always overweight their expectations. One of our USPs is that our in-house team manages every campaign. This means we don't outsource work to other agencies or freelancers. If we do, the client knows about it. So you must highlight that some agencies outsource much of their work without transparency, and you handle everything in-house.
I'll take care of everything here.
So, rule number one is to be as transparent as possible. Here, you need to remember that you don't go overboard sharing the stuff and don't hide the things either. Keep a balance between the two. Their mind has an underlying fear. Will it work with you? So, sharing a tons of relevant case studies, testimonials, or any social proof adds a lot of credibility. Relevant is the keyword here, not just random case studies. Also, I put a lot of emphasis on numbers rather than promises where they can see the actual data from our past campaigns. Once a business had a bad experience, it hesitates, creating lack of trust. It's hard for them to trust again. Just like if you had a bad experience with someone in a relationship, it will be very hard for you to believe in someone again. One rebuttal that always works is, hey, look, I get it. I had a bad mechanic work on my car last week. He put water in my oil, which was not great for the car. He did a terrible job. But that doesn't mean I don't need a mechanic, does it? See how I correlated a real life scenario to their situation. Another analogy that really helped me is this. For example, they have less budget but want faster results. So instead of pulling the conversation into, we will need to put more money into it, go like this. So let's say you're an empty glass and you want to fill it with water. You are just filling it drop by drop with the help of a water dropper. It will take much more time to fill it than if we turn the tap on. The same is the case with $1,000 per month campaign and a $10,000 per month campaign, as we can invest in more high quality links and other aspects of your SEO campaign to get faster results. Since we're discussing pricing and budget, I justify every bit of it. How many human hours will you or your agency be putting in based on your hourly rate? Then quickly let them know the deliverables, if any, as it will lower their guard. It's too much when you explain the pricing from an investment perspective, and when likely they will start generating profits out of it. Because in most cases, the first 3 to 4 months aren't profitable for any SEO campaign of new businesses.
So, just be patient.
Here is an example of how you can explain them in words, considering they already have some presence in SERPs. If your site is getting 10 leads per month from SEO right now, imagine what happens when that number triples in a year. That is 30 leads a month. That's a minimum ROI we're aiming for. And see, it's just the first year. When you keep on investing in a channel or platform that works well in marketing, it just prints you money, nothing else. As an agency, you need to keep in mind that ROI should be net positive by the end of the day. Let's say they paid you 60 grand for the first year. The business you have generated for them must outweigh that number. In my previous video, I suggested sharing the packages with them where you are confident you can get the results. Many SEOs argue that it has nothing to do with the revenue or sales generated, and that they are only responsible for the technical side of SEO. To me, as a business owner myself, that's just a BS. One thing that can work well is often starting with a smaller scope with clear outcome in the first 90 days. You can offer a trial run for the first 3 months based on milestone. Revamping a website is one milestone, re-optimizing content for all landing pages is the second, and acquiring 30 high quality and relevant links is the third, just as an example. The outcome now really depends on the type of website. However, some of their secondary keywords should be on the first page generating clicks. Once they see the value, how you work, and what kind of results they can expect, it reduces their perceived risk, and you can bind them to a long-term contract. Another reason this works is that the first 3 months of any SEO campaign are hard. Even if that's an established website, getting to know how they work and what your workflow is takes time. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, it takes at least 4 months for any SEO campaign to move the needle. For us, some SEO campaigns start generating results in 3 to 6 weeks after the launch. However, on average, even the changes made on an already established website take some time to show the impact. I use this visual to explain the timeline for any SEO campaign, which always works. All credits to Steve Toth for sharing it. Now, if they are a local business, I often use a hybrid approach that combines SEO with quick win strategies. For example, their GPP profile shouldn't take much time to optimize and generate leads in the first few weeks unless it's a competitive niche like law firms. I explain that we will optimize it for local presence while building the website's organic presence in the backend to complement your overall SEO.
It keeps things balanced.
If you are in a market where the client needs to be educated on SEO, you can explain that the quality of leads coming in is much higher compared to other forms of marketing. This is because their target customer is searching for that solution at that moment. These are hot leads in most cases. All in all, I tie the value back to their business goals. For instance, if they are an e-commerce brand, I will use numbers to show how organic traffic can directly translate to product sales. Since we work with many e-commerce stores, initially while working with dropshippers, they were like, we are already set with our paid ads funnel, and SEO takes a lot of time. We can't wait for months. Although they know it, hit this point in their brain, that is, with ads, you are renting the traffic. The moment you stop paying for the clicks is the moment you stop making money out of your business. I agree, SEO takes time, and it's great to see that ads are working for you, which shows that you have the demand for your product. With SEO, you build a system to get continuous traffic without paying for it. And the best part is, if they want to come back by simply Googling about it, they will be able to find your products again. In case of ads, you will need to run the ads again to keep them coming back to your website. I'm not asking you to ditch ads, since ads plus SEO is the best combo to market your business online. Adding SEO will reduce your acquisition cost because you are not paying for clicks here. Does this sound good? Normally, we work with clients who understand the value of SEO and are already using other forms of marketing. But let's say you are serving an avatar that doesn't have much understanding of it. So they object whether you can guarantee results or not. So here you must be honest with them and reframe their question by saying, No one can guarantee rankings because search engine algorithms are always changing their rules and policies on how they rank websites, and we can't control that. But over the years of working in SEO, we have developed processes that have worked very well for businesses like yours. On the other hand, what we can control is the strategy and execution. Based on the past campaigns, we have seen organic traffic growth after the hard work done in the first 90 days. And right after that, show them a case study to prove your point. One major shift that has helped me close more clients was changing how I positioned myself in conversations. Instead of coming across just another service provider, I started presenting myself as a strategic partner, genuinely invested in making their business successful and help them generate more revenue. This mindset shift makes clients see you are a part of their team, not just someone they are outsourcing to. And when they trust you as a partner, objections like, "Why should we choose you?" start to disappear. Even if you are not selling SEO and just a part of it, let's say backlinks, I wouldn't present myself as just another link building company, but as a partner team to help them grow the organic traffic for their website or their clients. I have been following a rule in sales and copywriting. Highlight the pain behind the pain. If they're building links, it's to grow their traffic. They want to grow traffic to get more leads or sales through organic channels than paid ads. Most strategic business owners, marketing managers, CMOs, or department heads care about growth and revenue. So rather than going deep into technical jargon, speak their language. For example, lawyers don't say leads, they say cases. On the other hand, roofers say calls, and interior design businesses say appointments, and I hope you got my point. One objection keeps coming up. We are already doing SEO in-house. Especially if you want to work as a white label partner with other agencies. This often feels like a dead end, but you can use it as an opportunity in your favor. I first acknowledge and appreciate their current team setup and say, our role isn't to replace your team, but to bring the strategies they might not have the time or knowledge to implement. For example, we focus heavily on link building strategies and technical audits that can 10x your current efforts. Also, in business, there are times when you get the workload that your in-house team can't simply manage. So the agency can help you manage the workload while delivering the same or better quality of work. By aligning yourself with your in-house team as a collaborative partner rather than a competitor, you can demonstrate how your expertise fills gaps and multiplies results. I'm not an expert sales guy, but I tried my best in this video to share whatever I could based on my SEO selling experience and forming my agency. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you want a sneak peek of the rebuttals against objections we use for our sales team. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.